Welcome to Anchor Network, where you get updated news of things happening around you. If this is your first time of visiting this channel, I would like and encourage you to subscribe so that you get updated news as soon as we publish them.
Elder statesman Chief Edwin Clark has said Boko Haram set audaciously sent a message to Dr. Goodluck Jonathan when he was president to convert to Islam. Clark, who declined pressure from admirers and interest groups to celebrate his 92nd birthday, said the mounting insecurity in the country, which President Muhammadu Buhari has been unable to tackle in the last 4 years, was seriously distressing to him. He disclosed that there was a top-level conspiracy among top government officials and highly placed politicians in the killings and violence by Boko Haram, adding that service chiefs at the time were present at a meeting during which an adopted hostage, Abba Maram, released by the deadly sect, delivered the letter to Jonathan. Clark, in a message on the State of the Nation yesterday, said, "I call on President Buhari to honestly come to terms with the stark truth. I call on Mr. President to urgently convene a sober national disclosure on national security of former head of state, presidents, statesmen and leaders, women and selected youth in Nigeria to work out a consensual and amicable resolution of this long, seemingly intractable challenge afflicting the country since the entry of Boko Haram menace in the national psyche." While also pleading with Boko Haramists, Esme, bandits, whatever name they choose to call themselves, so please stop this dastardly act. I enjoin all Nigerians to in prayer fervently for our nation, for God's mercy. We do not have another country to call our own. Nigerians should unite, be courageous and sincere to fight Boko Haram to avert the disintegration of the country, now that it is clear that the government cannot do it alone. On plots by Boko Haram to convert Jonathan and other security issues in the country, he said Boko Haram delivered the message to former President Jonathan to convert to Islam through an adopted hostage, Abba Rama, who is now late after his release. He said, "Fellow Nigerians, you will agree with me that the issues raised in my 87th birthday in 2014 are still plaguing us, and it is even worse. I am pained. My heart bleeds for our dear country, Nigeria. Moreover, it is the reason I have decided not to celebrate again this time. I cannot be celebrating when people are being killed, maimed, and rendered homeless. I cannot be celebrating when kids who could be my grandchildren and great-grandchildren are adopted and held captive. There are many things wrong, ranging from the question of equality and diversity, economy, infrastructure development, unemployment, lack of power, and most importantly, security. I have decided to dwell my 92nd birthday message again on security because the security situation all over the country is very troubling and gravely affecting every facet of the country activity. The nation's constitution is clear when it states that the primary responsibility of government is to secure lives and property. The issue of security has become a bane and national and international embarrassment for us as a people and a nation. Killings, kidnappings, rape, burning down of towns and villages, cattle rustling, etc. are now the order of the day, perpetrated by a group which the government has identified as bandits, X-Men, yet nothing is being done to arrest them. Rather, it is alleged that government officials collude with criminals. Now, the federal government is putting much money into agriculture because it wants to diversify the nation's economy. Is it aware that farmers no longer go to farm due to security reasons? In one occasion recently, the Emir of Katsina, Dr. Abdulhamid Usman, advised President Buhari to tackle insecurity before agriculture when the Minister of Agriculture, Audu Ogbe, and the Governor of Central Bank, Godwin Emefiele, paid him a courtesy visit in the course of launching one of the many agricultural schemes of the federal government. As it is now in this country, who is going to help us? And that is why most times we all resort to God. Like some of the people in the Western world, when they see Africans most especially Nigerians, they will like, you guys call on God so much. Something that you are supposed to use your common sense to tackle, you still call on God. God has his responsibilities. We have our own roles to play. The one that are pertaining to us, we leave them for God to do. And they say that is why we just go to church all the time, because our government fails to do what they are supposed to do. So why do they want to go to church? Because they themselves, they believe that, people that go to church, they are going to church to look for one thing or the other, to seek for one thing or the other. That people go to church because of problem. People go to church just because of what they want to get from God, not because they want to serve God. And I can't even blame us, even as a people, because when you have humanly tried what you are supposed to do, and things are not just going on well, the next thing is just, God, come and help me because I'm really handicapped. And that is the situation we have in Nigeria. And meanwhile, God is just looking us that we are supposed to do. He has given us brain to be able to reason well, but we still come back to him. God answers all prayers, but you can't just go to the market to go and buy food stuff. Once you come back, you must cook that food. You must go to the kitchen and make that food. If not, the food stuff will just be looking at you. The raw food that you have bought will just be looking at you. You can't call Holy Ghost fire from heaven. You can't call God from heaven to come and say, God, I want this food to be done. You have to cook it. You have to go through that process to cook that food. And at the end of the day, you'll be able to eat it after you have done everything. So that is how it is applicable to us and what is happening and to God now. We call on God virtually for everything. I think if we don't have our part to play, God wouldn't have given us, all the things that he has created in this world, so that we have dominion over everything. Even if you don't know how to go about some things, you seek for wisdom. In every organization, in every nation, there are rules and regulations that guide people. But we don't want to follow those rules. We don't want to be guided. Even the ones that are custodians of the law, they flout those rules and regulations, and they just leave it for the masses. And that is why we are having this problem, this insecurity of it. And everybody is talking from every corner, but nothing is being done. Just like Obasanjo said the other time, he said, we can't do it all alone by ourselves. We need to go and get international bodies to be able to join us to fight these people that are killing us on a daily basis. But the government is not accepting that. To them, they are doing their best. We know you guys are trying, but your best is not just enough, because people are dying. Lives are involved here. Edwin Clark has come out to say he doesn't want to celebrate his birthday. He's dedicating, his celebration, for government to be able to do something concerning this problem of killing, concerning this insecurity. If people at that age, at that level, are really tired, then what about the new generation coming up? What is our hope? Yes, they will tell you that the problem has been ongoing even before these new governments came in. And that was why we voted for them. We had to make sure that the old government, left the seat. That was why we brought you. But as it is now, it's like the government is overwhelmed with the problems. They don't even know how to go about it. And that is why you see a lot of insinuations coming up here and there, because people don't know what to believe anymore. Like I said, now that we are handicapped, it is only God we are still going to call upon to come and help us. Because the international communities, they will just be helping us. That these guys, they know what to do, but what is making them not to take the right decision? But at the end of the day, it all boils down on greed, nepotism, tribalism, and wickedness. Most especially wickedness. Some people just, some people derive pleasure in seeing other people suffering. And you see these leaders, they are living in affluence, and they see people, in abject poverty. And that is the position that we have taken in the whole world. We are the number one when you talk of poverty. So one of the major things that is really bringing Nigeria down is wickedness of the highest order. And the wickedness starts from the top. For Edwin Clark to come out again, still talking on this same security issue, it's really called for attention, because the responsibility of a government is to secure lives and property, and that is not happening now. So I don't know what you guys think about what Edwin Clark has said. There was a time Goodluck was threatened even to convert to Islam. So I don't know what you guys think, if you have heard such thing before, what you think could really be happening. And I must be sincere. I don't know. I remember vividly, even before Buhari came in, Boko Haram gave a statement. They said not even Buhari, not even Goodluck can withstand them. I remembered vividly, but we just believe that because of Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari, because of his experience in that area, in that field, you know, that this guy will be crushed down. Though they've tried their best, but their best is not just enough. But they came out to say, not even Buhari, that Buhari cannot even crush them, that no matter his experience. So I think that's what is still happening now. But for this government to be able to come out and say, we are really handicapped. Because the reason why most of us are still laughing, we are still talking, it has not really affected us. Because they are just limiting it to the northern states. If it crosses, what we are experiencing now is maybe pockets of Esme all over the place. But by the time Boko Haram starts coming into other states and other regions, I don't think it will be funny. I don't think it will just be funny. So that's just what I have for you guys. You know, whatever you think about what Edwin Clark has said, I would like you to put your comments down and let's rub minds together. Thank you very much. You are the best.